Chad, and welcome back to Button Willow Raceway Park. I am out here for Saturday of CRA Round 1 2023, my first weekend as an expert. Just went out for practice. Track was a little bit cold, but feeling pretty good actually. There was good grip out there despite the lower temperatures. It was pretty cold when we got up this morning, about 41 degrees. I think I went on track before we'd cracked 50 or when we were just at 50. So came in and my fingers were a little bit numb, but overall feeling good on the new bike. If you didn't check it out, check out this video up above. I bought a 2013 Triumph Daytona 675R to race this season. A lot of improvements on that bike compared to the 2012 that I've been racing for the last couple of years. And it's really been noticeable this weekend. Bike's a lot faster. It does everything that my old Daytona 675R did really well, but just everything's a little bit better. So I'm enjoying it. Springs are a little bit soft, so I'm gonna need to change those out after this weekend, but I'm not gonna worry about it and just ride around it. Yesterday, by the end of the day, I did a 157 flat, so feeling pretty good just considering that I was getting used to the bike. JJ Suspension Matters set up my suspension for me. My first time ever qualifying as an expert. Looking to go sub 157 here. I'm on a used front tire and my rear tire was brand new for this practice session, so only 3 laps on it. But I misjudged my time and wasn't able to get a new front tire on in time. It was feeling good still, so just gonna be mindful of that for this session, but gonna get out there and see what we can do. So qualifying was interesting. I did set a new PB, a 156.07, but unfortunately, because didn't count, my previous lap, 157.055, was the next best. So that put me 15th in the session. We'll see what that means in terms of grid positions, but you know, at least I'm starting from a point scoring place. So we'll see how it goes. Hoping to get into 55s, maybe 54s tomorrow. That's really the goal. Today was supposed to be kind of a mellow day. All I had today was the warm-up session in the morning and qualifying. Unfortunately, I had an issue with getting my front wheel off. So my torque wrench broke yesterday and I didn't realize it until I had already over-torqued my front axle when I was swapping out my tire for one of my takeoffs from the Metzlers that were on my new bike. And unfortunately that squashed the wheel spacers. So when I went to go take the axle out, the wheel spacer on the right-hand side was seized to the axle. So JJ saved the day once again, came in, was able to get it off and bore it out a little bit so it still works. And shout out and thanks to my buddy Tim, who sold me his torque wrench because he had a bunch of extras at home. And I am being able to torque to spec again. But now that that's all squared away, I'm going to go watch the last race of the day, which is the Expert and Amateur 1000 Superbike race. And after that, we've got the barbecue tonight and the award ceremony for the 2022 season. And thus ends a long Saturday that didn't go quite according to plan, but still was pretty good nevertheless. So I did end up qualifying 15th in class. That is where I am going to start my races tomorrow. At least that is my understanding. We'll see if the grids change and if everyone shows up or not. But I'm excited and looking forward to finally checking that box, completing my first expert race weekend and my first set of expert races. I'm really glad JJ was able to help me figure out that issue with the axle, and I'm gonna order some nice Fast Franks captive wheel spacers once I get home. Hopefully never have that issue again, and also buy a backup torque wrench. But really glad the bike's back together now. Got a fresh front tire on it for practice tomorrow, and then I'm gonna go ahead and put on a fresh rear ahead of my races. I'll probably flip it in between. Races 2 and 11 tomorrow, so I got a little bit of time in between, but it's gonna be a good day. I'm looking forward to it. The bike's been doing really great. It is still just night and day faster riding it today than my 2012 Daytona 675R. I raced all of last year and a little bit the year before that. Part of me wonders if that's just because my 2012's motor was that tired, or if it's just because I never did any power mods. That bike has a stock air filter, still has the stock header with the cat and exit valve in place. It has a Triumph off-road slip-on and the Triumph tune for that exhaust, but I don't really think that yields much in terms of power. But yeah, this bike, it rips in comparison. It just eats up the gears. It feels like there's so much more torque on corner exit. It is just amazing. and it sounds so good too. I've always loved the way my 2012 sounds, and I really loved the way my 06 sounded before that, but this 2013 just sounds like an animal. It is so much more aggressive sounding. It's super cool. Now, while the bike is doing very well as a whole, there are a couple of things that I am going to want to change before I race it again. The first is the springs. The suspension is just too soft for me. Played with the preload, the compression, and it's just diving too fast when I'm going to get on the brakes. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you'll know that when I race, I make most of my time up on the brakes. So going for the brakes and braking hard, and I'm used to braking very hard, and just having the front end dive instantly, it's creating a little bit of rear wheel chatter and hop, and it's just not making me feel good going into a corner. So I'm having to brake a little bit earlier and a little bit lighter. I don't really like that. I definitely feel like that's slowing me down a little bit. And conversely, I feel like the shock is a little bit too soft as well. That has the stock spring on it too. I'm not sure what the rating is on it, but I've played with the compression a little bit too, and I feel like it's just going a little too quick. So definitely going to swap out springs before I race this bike again. And the other thing that is bothering me a little bit is the seat. If you watched one of my earlier videos where I showed you the bike for the first time, you'll notice that it has a super sport tail, not the super bike tail. My 2012 Daytona 675R has a super bike tail, so it's a full fiberglass tail section, and it has a foam pad for a seat rather than an actual seat itself that you would find on a street bike. And I really like that. It's not the most comfortable thing, but you get a lot of good feedback through the chassis of the bike that way, and you do not move anywhere. Those foam pads are super grippy. This seat is an aftermarket seat of some sort. I'm not sure what brand, or if it's just been rewrapped and changed somehow, but it is not the grippiest. It's also not the slipperiest, but it just isn't giving me the kind of grip that I want or the feeling through the bike. So I definitely want to get a super bike tail. I would love to get it painted to match the super sport tail that's on the bike and just the rest of the livery, but I don't know how much it's going to cost or if anyone's even going to be able to match the paint. I have no idea what the codes are for it, so we'll see. More to come there. So I did get to catch the Expert Superbike 1000 race at the end of the day. That was a lot of fun to watch. Had a few friends that were running in that, setting some great times. Really cool. Those bikes are so fun to watch. They go so fast. It's really cool. Then after that, we went into the CRA barbecue. Wasn't really a barbecue this time around though. It was catered, nice Mexican food, really great tacos, super delicious. And then we had the award ceremony for the 2022 season. So the top 10 point scorers were recognized and they got trophies for that. And then myself, as well as every other class champion for the 2022 season, got their championship trophies. So in 2022, I was the California Road Race Association's Amateur 600 Supersport champion. Got a trophy with my name on it, proves so. So that's really cool, and I'm really happy to finally have that. It's something that I'm definitely going to cherish and look back upon as one of the best times of my life. One of the most challenging for sure, but I am so proud of myself for getting to where I'm at today with all of this. And I'm really excited and looking forward to continue with it tomorrow. Hoping to break into some 55s, if not 54s, and just have a good time. So I'm going to wrap this one up. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, I would sincerely appreciate a gentle little click of the like button, and if you consider subscribing for more motorcycling content like this. Drop a comment below. Have you thought about club racing before, or are you already a club racer? How are you doing? Let's talk about it in the comments. Thanks again for watching, and I'll hope to catch you in the next one. Until then, later.